Hello, welcome for another episode, Live from the Heart podcast. I'm Anne-Claire Mireille, your hostess. I'm a coach, I'm a writer, and I'm happy to offer you today my favorite questions to interrupt my thought patterns. So, I used to be a naturopath and EFT practitioner, and years ago I came across coaching because I wanted to help my clients transform and not only give them advice, health advice, and recommendation to be healthier. I wanted them to really understand that who they are can evolve and that they can transform from their core so that they can make better choices for themselves according to what they want, their vision for their lives. So I trained into coaching and I had a lot of, I would say, biases, and I had a lot of, yeah, I thought coaching was less noble than naturopathic medicine and then healing. And actually, I understood that if you change your thoughts, then you can heal because the way you think is absolutely impacting everything and including your health big time. So I've been diving into coaching for many years and I became really passionate, I would say fanatic about coaching. And then I became lead teacher from my coach uh, training for a few years. And then I created my own training called Coach from the Heart. It's available for now in French, but I think it's going to be available in English in the future. We might put into place a wait list. So stay tuned for that in English. We already trained, I think, close to 500 people. So we have 500 coaches from the heart in the world doing their magic. And it's just amazing. It's such a wonderful journey. And about a year and a half ago, I created another program called Level Up, which is level two coaching for people who are already coaches and who want to just add new skills to their repertoire. So, the idea of this podcast is to share with you the best questions that I'm currently using now as I am who I am. And I had the idea of this episode because I had recently a call Q&A with my group, Level Up, so coaches already coaching in their practices, and we were talking about the best questions that help us every day. So first I shared my questions because it was someone from the group asking me about mine, and then I opened up and some other coaches added more questions, so I added them into the list. So, what are today, with who I am and what I want to achieve in my life, the questions that help me the most? I'm going to start with the one that is very dear to my mind. It's been there, I think, since last year. It's a really big one. Is who do I need to be in order to, and then the vision. I'll give you an example. In January, I found another house. So I currently live by the beach with my husband, our two kitties, our dog, and we have a beautiful life. And I go very often to Ubud to dance. I have a boyfriend in Ubud. I have other things that I do in Ubud, and I have friends, and I go very often there. And I was renting Airbnbs every time I was going, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have, that's another question I love. Wouldn't it be nice if I would have another house? And then I found the house. Well, a friend of mine found the house. And then when I found the house, I wanted it right away. And then I had a wave of anxiety thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to manage two projects, two houses. I'm gonna have to deal with coming and going from there, dealing with two teams for the two houses, and just the idea of so many things to deal with on a daily basis was bringing me anxiety. Unlike when you rent Airbnbs, you get the key and everything is just handed to you, and it's super easy. And then in the middle of the night, as I was feeling anxious but still grateful, I was not ungrateful, I was just anxious. I realized, oh, I can ask myself, who do I need to be in order to be thriving in this situation and in order for it to happen in the most beautiful way? And then I realized, oh, if I am someone who delegates more, who finds, for example, a house manager, who hire a decorator, who ask for the cleaning lady to do much more hours, at least for a while, so that there is always someone in the house who can just handle decoration and the deliveries and everything until the house is prepared for me, then everything is going to be smooth. So who do I need to be? I need to be someone who trusts. I need to be someone who hires the right people, so who chooses. who gives demands to her team, and who also, yeah, let the people be in their genius zones. So find the right people and let them be in their genius zones so that it's effortless and so that I don't have to micromanage everything. And then I instantly felt better. I was like, oh my God, there is a way. Okay. And it's working. It is still a little bit of work. I will not lie about it, but I'm enjoying it. It's been, yeah, I'm 2 months in and the house is almost ready. I'm super grateful. It's awesome. I actually got the keys only 6 weeks ago and it's almost ready. So I'm very grateful for that. And actually, I have a retreat coming up in May, and this will be in this house. And I'm super excited to show it to the people who will be coming. It's a very intimate retreat. So then, next question. Next question is kind of related, which is who in the future, the antler of the future, that I'm going to be, the one who's thriving, the one who has achieved creating this beautiful relationship, who has achieved creating that amount of financial freedom, who has achieved being a successful writer, etc., etc. How does she think? And how does she behave? What does she say? What's her posture in life, and all of that. I bring it into the now moment. So what would Antler do? And this Antler from the future that I can connect with. This is I would say it's kind of related to the first question. I love, slightly different, and I use it a lot too. Then another question which is also related, it's who, not how. We're very attached to how we must do things in order to achieve what we want to achieve, but actually, who can support us in doing it, or who can teach us in how to do it in a more efficient way, is actually a better question. So this is something I've learned from Ben Hardy. He wrote a book called 10x is easier than 2x that I read in January, and I absolutely loved it. And he also shared that in order to grow, you must be surrounded by the right people, and the right people know how to achieve what you want to achieve. So this is also something which is very precious. Then another question. Okay, another question that I love to use is this thing that is occupying my mind, whatever it is it a distraction, or is it take me closer to who I want to be? The vision of this antler that I can connect with, which is the next version of me. Um, for example, I'm going to give this example for dating. So I have a boyfriend, and he's a wonderful man. And he's been dating a lot of women in the past. And I've asked him, I said, how do you choose them? Like, how do you think if, how do you know if they're worth your time? Because for me, I don't have so much time. So how do you know they're worth your time? And then he said, oh, I don't know. I don't really know about it. And I remember it was right at the beginning of our relationship. And then I told him, I said, for me, it's very clear. If the person that I'm seeing is not helping me get closer to who I want to be, or if this project that I choose to take on, or if this YouTube video that I'm watching, or if this event that I choose to go to is not taking me closer to who I want to be, then it's not worth my time. And it's just not working. And this is very important. It's a very important question because we live in a distracted world, and there is always an opportunity to do stuff, to meet people, to scroll on social media, to watch one more video, one more TV show, take on one more project, and everybody is busy. But are you busy just to fill up your life, or are you actually using your time for valuable things to bring you closer to who you really want to be? And this is super important. And I'm often asked, how do I do everything that I do? Because I write books and I have a successful business and I have two partners and I have quality time with myself and I take care of my health and everything. I have to prioritize. And this is a great way to prioritize. And also, I delegate. So, prioritizing and delegating. Okay. And then, so I already shared, wouldn't it be nice if, which is a question that I love to use with Christian, my husband. And I understood after a while, getting more and more into coaching, that I had to train my brain in order to realize that there is always better ways to live, and a future, a joyful future to aspire to. And I used to think that every time something beautiful would happen to me, there would be something less beautiful afterwards, because life is only ups and downs. And although it is true that life will always bring challenges in life, it doesn't mean that it has to be a down. It's just a challenge, and I'll just face it, and then more beautiful things will come afterwards. But I believe we are co creators of what's going to happen. And if you think that it's inevitable that something hard will happen after something beautiful has happened, it's also because maybe you have not trained your brain to anticipate better things and better things and better things. And so this is something that we train. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if after this beautiful house that we found, this beautiful project, we would take on new projects? And then wouldn't it be nice if now that we have two kitties, which are healthy and bringing a lot of joy to us, then when we have a bigger house, we take more kitties? And then you see what I mean? Wouldn't it be nice if, as I age, I guess I get healthier and healthier and more flexible, mind and body? And wouldn't it be nice if I would be a great dancer in my 50s? And if I would be, yeah, more flexible and more pain-free in my body, and etc., etc. So we just play with this game. Wouldn't it be nice? And it's just super helpful to envision the brightest future possible. And then the mind has something to grasp, you know? And when you can grasp that, you can it's like you're always finding ways to make things happen. It's just like, I think if you envision the worst future possible, then you're going to make drama happen instead of making the best happen. So this is, I love this question, it's awesome. Okay, what else? How can I best follow my joy today? That's also a beautiful question. And as a generator in human design, following my joy is very important, because this is how I create. So I don't know how you function, but if you can learn how, just how you work, what works for you, then it's super helpful. So the more I follow my joy, the more success I have. And actually, my keyword for this year is pleasure. How can I bring more pleasure into this life? Whether it's dancing, whether it's cuddling, whether it's spending family time, whether it's nature, whether it's creating from a place of pleasure and not from a place of pain, like writing. I used to write in pain, like, because writing is such a painful process sometimes, but how can I make it pleasurable? And this is such a beautiful question. I'm still exploring. I might do more episodes about that topic. I'll talk about it also in my writing retreat, my writer's retreat in July 23rd to 30th of July in Ubud, Bali. It's going to be epic. Okay, another question. How can I fold time? Actually, this one was inspired by my boyfriend. So we had a conversation about, okay, you want to achieve something in a year from now. If your goal would be to do it in 3 months, what would be different? Then what actions would you take if you would have less time? Because the more time you have, the more time you take. So if you know you have only a short amount of time, what do you not do? What do you erase from your to-do list so that you can go straight to the point? And I really like that, because quite often we just stretch the time. And although sometimes it's necessary to have more time in order to, kind of grow and connect deeply to into a topic and really dive deep into whatever we're creating, sometimes it's not necessary. So how can I fold time? What do I need in order to do that? Okay, next question. Am I breathing? So this one was inspired by someone from my group Level Up. Am I breathing? Can I just interrupt and just breathe? And then how can I let life flow through me? Because if we're not stopping, if we're not being present, and if we're not breathing, then we're just preventing life to happen. And life is always happening for me. And sometimes I forget and I hold my breath and I try to control. But actually, if I just surrender and relax into it, things are happening much smoothly, much more smoother. I don't know how to say that, but this is so cool. So how can I relax more to let life flow through me better. Okay, and then maybe I'll share one or two more from my group. Um, okay, what I'm currently feeling, especially if it's a tension or a contraction, does it belong to me? So this question was brought by someone in the group, and I really like it. Is it mine? And if it's not mine, or even if it is, do I want to hold on to it? Or can I just let it go? And can I just release it? Consciously make a conscious choice to just let go and release and replace by something else. It can be presence, it can be unconditional love, it can also be um, I let this go and I choose instead to be inspired by fresh ideas from the source, to reconnect to replug to the source and just yeah, let myself be renewed. And I really love that. It's a great practice that I choose to do every day. I actually teach in Level Up, which is grounding myself, connecting to the divine, imagining a bubble all around me with my energy, and then cleaning this energy. Just we can like spend like use the vacuum, blow it, just push things away outside of the bubble, and then just let fresh energy coming from the source and just I welcome it all over my body, inside of me, every single cell of mine, and just put it all around in the bubble and let myself be inspired by source, because there is always many things, many gifts that I can always use to replace the old obsolete thoughts and beliefs that I had before, which may or may not come from me, but quite often from my environment. And then, mm, mm, oh yeah, someone shared. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this one, which I like too. What would you do if you were not such a good girl? Which I really like because as a recovering good girl, I believe that, yeah, we should be doing whatever the fuck we want and not necessarily what society expects from us. So, this is a great question. If I were not such a good girl, then what would I do in this particular circumstances? Would I speak differently? Would I act differently? What would be my choices? And this is very valuable because the world needs more people who tell the truth, their truth, instead of people who try to be good people, which I really like. Voila, that was a lot of good questions. You probably have a lot more. If you want to comment on social media below this post, there will probably be a reel or post about it, or on YouTube if you want to find also the YouTube video. You can share your best questions, the one that help you interrupt your thought patterns and really, yeah, see things differently and recreate yourself and dare to live greatly. I would be very grateful because your questions can become my questions and my questions can become your questions, and we help each other in that way. Thank you so much. I highly recommend you to dive deeper and ask yourself the best questions every single day because it's so helpful. If you have not already read my book, Millionaire from the Heart, there are many questions and journal prompts that can help you rewire your relationship with money and become the most abundant, prosperous person you can be. And not only with money, but in every area of life. I thank you for your presence today in this episode, and I invite you to share it with the people around you who may benefit from it. And if you've enjoyed it, you can also give it 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It helps us a lot to be more visible. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.